Hello, hello. So, right, in the other quarterfinal matchup, I've got Lily versus Ollie, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens here. So we've got Lily as the Zerg up in the top right of Eternal Empire, and Ollie down in the bottom left. It is indeed Lily versus Ollie Game 1. I like it a lot. So, yeah, previously we've seen Lily playing Protoss, I think. Am I imagining that? Or was Lily previously a Protoss? I think so. So mixing it up, and why not? Variety is, after all, the spice of life. So this this Overlord heading across the map is pretty standard fare. What I tend to do, if it's Protoss, there's a pretty good chance you will get that first Overlord into your opponent's base for a quick look and out again before they've got anything to shoot up. If it's Terran, I don't tend to try it because obviously their first unit out's a Marine, and the last thing you want to do is lose an Overlord really early in the game. With Protoss, they're not going to have anything to shoot up until the first Stalker comes out, and that's going to take quite a while. So I'm kind of curious, is Lily playing random or was Zerg chosen? Yeah, I suspect Zerg chosen. So Ollie doesn't quite see the Overlord in the middle of the map, but I just don't think it matters really. He's probably not too, he's probably already aware that his opponent is a Zerg, and that's absolutely fine. So the Nexus comes down. Obviously the Zerg hatch is ahead. You'd absolutely expect that. This is what you want to see. You want to see this. This cheers you up when you go scout and you see that this hatch is almost done, and you think, yes, good. What you're really checking is that your opponent went hatchery first, because that's what you should do as a Zerg. That's any normal Zerg build is. The first thing you build is a hatchery, then you build the pool and the gas. What you don't want to see when you go across the map to check on your Zerg opponent is that they've gone gas first, then pool before hatch, because that means that a world of Zerglings are coming your way and are probably already on their way across the map, and then you go into kind of, oh no, lockdown mode, and you try your best to patch it up. The key, of course, to defending that is being on the other side of the map and seeing it. I like this. Why not? So the double Evo comes down from Lily. Isn't going to find out about this for some time. There's no Overlords over in this direction, so it isn't uncommon to, your third Overlord to keep that at home just to scout around and look for proxies, but it doesn't look like this is going to be seen. So I guess what we're going to see from this is I guess we're going to see Ollie go for a proxied Stargate, perhaps. That's what I would be building in this position most likely. You throw in the starport, you throw in the Stargate here, you put a shield battery here, and you pump Void Rays, and another shield battery, and you go in and out with the Void Rays, doing damage, and when anything tries to shoot them, you come back to about here, and the shield batteries just heal them up. It can be a really, really tricky thing to deal with as a Zerg. What the Zerg needs to do in response is to build spore crawlers, spine crawlers that they can then creep forward with the Queen helping out, and possibly time that with a run around with the Lings to try and get some wraparound on those shield batteries as well and distract the firepower from the voids. But yeah, it can definitely be a difficult thing to deal with. So I'm not sure if that is what we're going to see though. There's the side core is finished, but there's no sign of a starport. So actually, I don't know what this is then from Ollie. I'm confused now. Anyway, in terms of economy, a little surprised that Lily doesn't have a third up yet. Lair has been researched and is going into infestation pit. So, oh my goodness, that's a really fast infestation pit of only 2 bases. I don't really know what I'm going to see here then. The Nidus is building, and yeah, I love to see Nidus play. Okay, Swarm Hosts then, Nidus Swarm Host, but yeah, you need a third base. Anyway, if you're unfamiliar with Swarm Hosts and Nidus play, it is very difficult to deal with indeed. Really, really savage. The idea is this Nidus means that you can put units in at this end and you can have them exit on the other side of the map. Okay, so it's going to be a cannon just to deny the third base. I don't hate it. But, you know, to be honest, if I'm Lily, I just go, fair enough, and I cancel that and I build my third here, and it's not that big a deal. With the gateway as well, I'm just not sure about this because the queen on the high ground is going to be able to focus on the pylon, and I think this achieves nothing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll get the cancel on this because Lily just doesn't have any units at present, but I'm not sure about this. It's a bit weird. The shield battery won't actually heal up this pylon unless you tell it to. So the shield battery by default will heal up a cannon. It heals up units automatically, and it will heal up a cannon automatically, but it won't heal up buildings that don't shoot. So it won't heal up a pylon unless you actually actively click it and tell it to. The pylon will go down, but it isn't actually going to matter. Oh, it's out of range. It's out of range. Oh no. Oh no. Ollie, I don't know about this. Okay. Did I just miss something important? Hang on. Rewind. Was that a drop of some description? No. No, these aren't dropper lords. What are these doing here? What? Hang on. How did they even get there? What the? What am I even watching here? Ollie's so distracted, as I was, by the stuff on the other side of the map. He hasn't even noticed that there's like just a dirty grit overlord hanging about in the middle of his men. Lily with overlord speed. Brilliant. Get in and have a look around. You don't need to spend 3 overlords to do it, and you definitely don't need to lose any. And look, this overlord could get focused down by the 2 stalkers. Oh no, but this one runs away. What is this? Right, okay, good. The stalker's going to go around looking for the kill on that. This cannon is finally going to get the kill on the hatchery because there just aren't any units. I expect to see, well, I'd love to see something in production. At present, there's nothing in production for us. Oh, whoops. I do beg your pardon. That was me arbitrarily pressing buttons. Yeah, I do. This game has gone really weird already. You know what I mean? It's a cannon rush on the 3rd. Lily doesn't bother to cancel the 3rd. I don't know why not. I don't know why you wouldn't have just instantly cancelled it and went, right, fair enough, you build your cannons, I'll go and build over here. Do what you like, you know. You spend all that money on cannons and I'll be fine. Yeah, there are 4 swarm hosts in production. It's enough to be a bit annoying. It's not really enough to get serious damage done. And it will give away what you're up to. As the Protoss, you'll have heard that noise. You know what's coming probably. So the swarm hosts will pop out of this. They'll shoot their dirty little locusts that will fly into this base. Have a good chance of, certainly you could focus on the gas if you wanted to, but more likely you'll just go for workers. You need more like 8 or 9 swarm hosts to be able to shoot out enough locusts to focus down a nexus in one wave, and that's the kind of, once you're able to do that, it's so hard to deal with this swarm host play because these guys can just pop out over here. Okay, so 5. This could get quite a lot done. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'd go for the workers here because I just don't think you've got enough locusts to actually get the nexus. But you've definitely got enough locusts to kill all of the workers. And look, that's job done. That's an immense amount of damage. Yeah. So what Ollie needs to do is he needs to find this and kill it. You need to go out looking for this, but he's too busy hacking through Lily's mineral line with his zealots on the other side of the map. The swarm hosts come out, but actually very few of them have got enough energy to shoot, and you know that's ever the problem with swarm hosts. Once they've shot, they're useless. They're just what is it that Maynard calls them? Hell muffins. Once the hell muffins have like fired off a load of thingies, they can't shoot again for a while. So if these zealots can get on top of them, they can just hack them to bits. You know, these are defenseless hell muffins, although these ones are fully charged up and ready to go. These zealots do require a little bit of micro here. What you want to do is split them up, spread them out, make the locusts fly around and chase you, and wait for those locusts to time out. The charged zealots can just run away from these locusts. This next batch coming in, look, all the hell muffins are spent for a while, so these guys send this in by all means. Just pick off these hell muffins. It's my suspicion that Ollie possibly has not played against swarm hosts before and isn't 100% clear on how they work. So at present, Ollie, build workers, replace the workers that you've lost, because if you're able to do that, you're miles ahead. Look, you're on 3 bases, and all you need to do is make those bases mine for you. The same could be said for Lily. Don't forget to, if you lose workers, don't forget to replace them. This is nice positioning, actually. Don't let the lings get us around. So lings do extremely well against stalkers, so you want to have your stuff positioned in such a way that the zealots are on the outside to stop the lings getting on top of the stalkers, and the stalkers are in the back. Oh, this is such a shame that the Hellmuffins all expend their locusts on this handful of... Yeah, don't engage these, just run from these, Ollie. You don't fight those, don't fight them. Yeah, so well, yeah, 4 stalkers lost there just completely unnecessarily. All he had to do was run back, because the broodlings, the locusts or whatever they're called, expire with time, so just flee from them. But it does look like Ollie's going to be able to focus on the lair, and that's painful. Interesting choice to interesting choice to build the lair here rather than here. I don't know about that, but anyway. So here we are at the 10-minute mark. Our third player is only mining minerals off it. Workers. Ollie's got a warp-in point here that he can continue to abuse and use. This on the other side of the map, wouldn't mind at all seeing these Hellmuffins just, either the muffins be loaded in or just load the lings in and just go and do damage on the other side of the map. These pop out and we'll be able to focus on the pylon and just shut this down. So that's absolutely fine. There is a second pylon on the creep here, and I think they're going to run out, but the lings will finish the job. But look, the big mistake that both of these players are making is neither of them are building workers. You've both lost workers. We're at the 10-minute mark and your incomes are miserable. Now, with that said, huge amounts in the bank. So Ollie, I want to see more production. What are you going to do about these locusts? You need something with splash damage. Colossus is brilliant. The other thing that you might consider is air, because the locusts don't shoot up. You can fly about with a couple of void rays and just kill them all. Kill all of the Hellmuffins. Just rain down carnage on your opponent's base. You've been in your opponent's base. You know what he's got at present. The only thing that shoots up in the Zerg base is this queen. That is it. So 2 void rays win you the game, basically. This round of locusts come in, and yeah, they get some stuff done, but it's not that much. Ollie needs to move out and just kill this. Just put an end to this. Kill this, kill the Overlord, and it's gone. It's you need an Overlord in position to plant those Nidus exits, but yeah, once this is dead, this kind of problem stops pretty quickly. But not much happening. This was my key criticism of the other games that I've casted this evening, that there just wasn't the production happening. There is money in the bank, there's gas in the bank. You could be building stuff and you're just not. This is going to pop pretty soon. Is it within? Yeah, it is within vision. If Ollie doesn't know what he's looking for, I can forgive him for not spotting this. That noise is the giveaway. Both players hear that, and the Hellmuffins are going to pop out here and they're going to have a ball. This is, I think, now enough Hellmuffins to actually just focus on the Nexus, and that's what I'd probably do. Left of their own devices, they will focus the workers, and I don't know about that. I think I'd have just gone for the Nexus. If you'd right click that Nexus, you'd probably have got it. Instead, you're going to get a handful of workers and a handful of zealots, and I don't know about that. So yeah, will manage to shut this one down. Needs to kill the Overlord so that a new one doesn't appear, but more than anything, needs to kill this one. And if all else fails, after the great success of last time, just go across the map and kill your opponent. That is the weakness of this play. Nidus Swarm Host is, if you're trying to defend against it, it's incredibly difficult. So the best defense against it is to just go across the map. If Mei has got Swarm Hosts, well, guess what? Those Swarm Hosts aren't bothering you if you're up in their base killing them. So another one here. This is a little bit ambitious, isn't it? I mean, surely he sees this one. Surely the army isn't moving, but come on, Ollie. Surely you see this. Don't you see this? Don't you? He doesn't. He doesn't see it. Anyway, even now that it's popped, surely now he sees it. There are Colossus building, and that cheers me up a lot. Colossus are very good against the locusts, and they will do well against the locusts. All of these locusts out on the zealots is the last thing you want. You do have to micro those locusts a little bit, or otherwise they will drop and shoot the first thing they see, and that's not what you want them to do. To maximize your damage, you want to be right-clicking something of value, the Nexus in this case. If I'm Ollie, as soon as these two Colossus are out, I'm marching across the map. You know, the Hellmuffins have just like basically spent themselves for the next minute or whatever it's going to take for them to recharge. So you're not going to encounter much resistance. I would just go for this, and he is, and I like it a lot. Now, with that said, you know, in the back of going for it, why aren't there 2 more Colossus being built? Not 100% sure. You know, don't just stop. Don't stop production. Continue to build things. More Hellmuffin carnage happening here. But Lily might well regret this in a second, because this stuff is about to walk into her base, and she will have nothing to fight it because all of the Hellmuffins are on the other side of the map. Don't hesitate, Ollie. Hesitation is going to kill you, because the recharge time on the Locust is not that long, so you need to get in there before the Hellmuffins can recharge. To be honest though, this is enough units to see off a wave of Hellmuffin Locusts. All of these workers pulled are probably all going to die. The Colossus are shooting the wrong thing, but eventually they'll get the idea. Colossus against Lings is almost embarrassing, and Colossus against Hydra is extremely good too. So I don't think there will be enough here to stop this. The Colossus need to be shooting down the Locusts though, so this reposition is not bad. If both Colossus shooting the Locusts, they just negate them, because you know, Locusts are pretty feeble really. They've got a high DPS, but they don't take a beating. So I think it's just GG. I don't see how the Zerg can possibly hold against this. Okay, nice. Interesting game then. Interesting game, because we saw some stuff that we haven't seen before in the tournament. I'm a big fan of Nidus Swarm Host play, but the things to look out for if you're doing it are, just because you're doing Swarm Host Nidus doesn't mean that you don't need an army at home. You do. So you build your 9 Swarm Hosts that you're going to be doing your Nidus play with, but don't take your finger off the production button. You know, still have that army of roaches at home to defend. Still get 3, 4, 5 bases up. You know, here we are 15 minutes in, and really as a Zerg you should be on 5 or 6 bases. But that never did happen. Yeah, and then you use your Nidus play. You drop a Nidus here and you shoot the Locusts at this, and you try and focus down economy, you try and focus on the Nexus, or you focused on important tech. You know, get the Nidus here, get the Swarm Hosts out, and if you can send them into the main, you focused on things like this, prevent your opponent from building tech, or you focused on a Nexus and you really stymie their income, and that can just be hugely effective. But don't let it distract you from the key business of building a massive game-winning army, because on its own, you know, a handful of Swarm Hosts isn't going to win you the game. It's just not. And Ollie eventually did exactly the right thing against it. If you stay home and try and defend, you don't trade efficiently, because you know these Swarm Host Locusts are free, and you will be constantly losing units against them, losing buildings against them, and that's costing you money, that's costing your opponent nothing. So the correct thing to do is to recognize that actually those Swarm Hosts are expensive. They're using up supply. If your opponent is using them offensively, that's a bunch of stuff that they don't have at home. So you get up in their grill and you go across the map and kill them. The other thing to look out for in terms of defending against it is kill the Overlords. Get the Overlords off the map. You need vision to drop these. And the most useful thing for that is you drop a Stargate and you get a Phoenix. So you only need one Phoenix, and you fly that Phoenix around and you just clean up the Overlords. Have it patrol in left and right. So anytime an Overlord tries to come in and give vision for one of these things to drop, it just gets picked off by a Phoenix or a couple of Phoenix. Or if you prefer a Void Ray, because then the Void Ray can actually focus on the worm itself as well. Alrighty, GG.